4 overall pick Carnell Tate was also on the field this weekend. Here's his offensive coordinator, Brian Daboll, on the rookie's ability to pick up different parts of the offense.
We'll give him as much as he can handle. He is smart. We try to have all our skill guys, Paul, learn all the spots. So there's 5 eligible receivers on every pass play. The guys that are out there running routes, not just learn one spot to understand the entire system, the scheme that you're running. It's helpful if those guys can learn multiple things.
Tim, how do you see Tate helping Cam Ward in this Titans offense?
Well, they definitely needed pass catchers around him, and, they've addressed that obviously with Tate in the draft and then Wan'Dale Robinson in free agency. Hearing Daboll say that, clearly they want, Tate to have as many opportunities to get on the field and have an impact. It was a bit of a surprise pick, and so they're going to need him to contribute in a big way quickly. I do expect most of his work to be done as an outside receiver, so while he's talking about learning all the different spots, I think Robinson, based on his size, is going to be a guy that plays inside, and I think Tate primarily will be a receiver that's playing outside.
The Super Bowl champions.
I continue to be so excited by what the Tennessee Titans are doing. And finally, listening and seeing Brian Daboll discuss it gets me even more fired up. Colin Cowherd on his show yesterday was talking about, every year there's teams that go from, nothing to something essentially. They completely turn it around, and he's like, I think it's probably going to be the Raiders and the Giants. The whole time he's saying that, I'm thinking like, what about the Titans? What about the Titans? What about the Titans? And I'm so fired up, and then the crazy thing is that I don't think people would even really be talking about the Titans that much if it wasn't for the Tate pick. It's just that they don't really seem to understand the foundation that the Titans kind of have right now, and then you're inserting 2 great coaches on both sides of the ball. And that to me is what continues to be like such a big selling point for me, for the Tennessee Titans. But before I go any further in it, Tennessee Titans fans, I got to talk to you guys directly right now. Because you guys know, I go on my whole rant about, please don't forget to subscribe. Please don't forget to watch the full-length video. And it's because when you guys do that, views go through the roof, subscribers go through the roof, and it puts me in a position to genuinely make Tennessee Titans content. Prior to that, leader. Nobody would watch a single Titans video. That's why you don't see Titans content on any of the big shows, on Get Up, First Things First, The Herd, like any of it. And when they do, it's for 30 seconds, and then they move on. Or if it's something truly big, where you can't ignore it, they'll have a segment, and then that's it. Maybe we'll talk about them next year or something. And it's just I had someone get mad at me for kind of, trying to be please subscribe. 'Cause when you guys subscribe while watching the video at the same time, it just creates such an avalanche. And this is a comment that I got from someone, and it really got me thinking. He said, bro, we are really getting tired of you. Keep talking about how Titans fans need to watch. Just make the bleeping video. I had to erase it. Bleeping video. We don't need to hear about you going on and on how our teams don't have fans. It's annoying, and as soon as you start that part, people click off. Check the analytics. That comment really got me thinking, 'cause I read the comments. I read what you all say, and I saw other people kind of reply, and shout out to the people that replied. I appreciate that. And it really made me think about all this. It really made me put things in perspective. Again, it's like I watch all these shows, Herd, First Things First, etc. And it's it's so cool to be able to just watch these shows and have them discuss your team. And it is such a bummer that franchises like the Titans, they don't get to just sit back, watch a mainstream show, and have them discuss their team for an extended period of time, day after day, week after week. And that is ultimately what I am trying my best to be able to deliver. Because NFL Live especially is more like a news show, so they'll talk about the Titans. They'll talk about every single team, but it's like very quick, very short, and it's like what I'm trying to deliver is actually like the long-form narrative deep dives, like let's actually discuss this team, let's discuss this situation, let's discuss this game, let's break it down, and then let's talk about them again tomorrow and the day after, right? Like that is ultimately what I'm trying to do. And the fact that someone like that person who made that comment is trying to get me to stop. Don't you understand that only makes me want to do it more? Don't you understand that that makes me want to double, triple, quadruple down? Because what we're doing is actually working unbelievably amazing. Again, nobody was watching Titans videos, and now we're literally getting thousands and thousands and thousands and hundreds of comments. And this is what I discovered. When you compare this channel to other channels, whether it be the mainstream channels that were like they're on TV and whatnot, or whether you're talking about other just like really big sports YouTube channels that have like millions of subscribers, the amount of comments per view that this channel gets, it's through the roof. It's not even close compared to the other channels. The other channels absolutely get more views, no doubt, more subscribers. But the engagement here, we are actually having real, honest, grounded discussions here. And it's like seriously, we're getting to the point where one day I can confidently say that you are not having any better discussions in the comments section than this channel right here. That it is second to no one. And again, let's be clear. Like that is unique to this channel because comments are where comments are really not that important. It's all about the views and subscribers. Like that's where the power is. Right? If you're making videos and you're getting millions of views, like that's where the power is. Like that's all anyone ever cares about. That's what ratings are, right? They're not like, oh, are people talking about? No, it's just, are you watching? Right? Mr. Beast has said that. He goes, I don't care about thumbs up. I don't care about comments. It's all about views. Views are the only thing that matters. Like he literally has said that himself. And it's just like I'm like, no, like let's have real discussions. Let's have real conversations about all this. That to me matters so much because that is like when someone is actually watching this video, that means it's like a real person is watching this video. They're commenting. They're reacting to it. We're having real discussions. And so, that's the idea that I can provide for a team like the Tennessee Titans, a team that's not being discussed that much. Not only a place for people to now actually be able to like sit back and watch, someone talk about the Titans while they also talk about all the other teams, and it doesn't have to be just like a local biased, broadcast, and then also have a place where you can actually have conversations and comments and have back and forth. Are you kidding me? That's amazing. So, hopefully what this guy is saying is wrong. Hopefully, like I want this video to actually have like the most views any Titans video has ever had just to prove this guy wrong. Like I know I'm ranting about it, but it's because I'm passionate about it. It's because I'm excited about it. We've literally added thousands of Titans fans that did not exist before that. And again, and then because of that, I'm able to just keep making a ton of Titans videos. And like again, man, like that just excites me. That excites me so much. So, let's just keep proving the people wrong, man. Let's just keep proving the haters wrong and get after it. But when I realized all that the comment engagement compared to other channels, and that's where we clearly have things done more than any of these other channels. That's remarkable, man. Like that is remarkable, and that's all of you guys. Like that is 100% all of you guys. And so, it's just amazing. But yeah, back to the talking about the Titans. I just think that the Titans and the moves that they've made and adding a Tate and whatnot. And it's 'cause like now even he goes, it was a bit of a surprise. And it's like, see, we keep going back and forth. We keep going back and forth. And I don't want to keep going back and forth with this, but I just had such another aha moment because I was making a Bills clip, and talking about the evolution of Josh Allen and whatnot. And what Josh Allen looked like in the beginning of his career, and then what happened when Brian Daboll helped develop like Josh Allen was a really really raw talent. And again, I think Josh Allen is best quarterback in the NFL. Like so, I think he's absolutely brilliant. But it's so telling when you look at someone like that and realize he wasn't quite that in the beginning of his career. Like it did take time for him to be developed. And the very coach that developed him is Brian Daboll. And Brian Daboll has such an unbelievable track record of developing quarterbacks. He's great at developing young talent. Again, is he the best head coach? Is he the best play caller and the best play designer? Probably not, and I don't know. Maybe one day, but that's not necessarily what he does. And what some coaches that are just so brilliant and so elite, they do everything. Like that is what makes Andy Reid truly exceptional. That he is amazing at developing raw talent. He's amazing at maximizing already experienced talent. He's amazing play caller, play designer. That's what makes him the go-to offensive coach. Not everyone's going to be able to have that. Shanahan doesn't have that. McVay doesn't necessarily have that, right? So, we can have other great coaches that also do awesome things, but they might not be able to check off all the boxes at the highest degree. And so, who is Brian Daboll at the end of the day? We'll find out. But, the one thing we absolutely truly know is that he can develop quarterbacks. He absolutely can develop young quarterbacks. No question about that. And you can tell that Brian Daboll runs a little hot, and there's people who I've listened to who have known him and have actually worked with him, and they say he's an intense guy. And I think probably that's where him being a head coach, things can get a little weird because you're just doing too much. There's just too much action, too much intensity. You have to worry about too much. You're literally trying to juggle too many balls in the air. And his only job is to focus and develop Cam Ward. And as much as I wanted Jeremiah Love, and I made it very loud. I want Jeremiah Love. I want Jeremiah Love. I want Jeremiah Love. That would help out the offense. And therefore, help to a degree. It would more or less indirectly help and develop Cam Ward. By adding a Carnell Tate right now, you get to help directly develop Cam Ward. Right? It is clear it's not just a matter of improving the offense. It's directly developing Cam Ward. And so, that's why even a Carnell Tate to me right now, I love even more than I did prior. I always liked it, and I liked it from the jump and was excited, and I was excited that even though Jeremiah Love got taken that the Titans didn't pivot and not say, okay, we're going to go defense. They still were no, we want to support this offense. And I kept saying that's the way to go. That's the way to go. So, I love it. So I loved it from the jump. But, I honestly love it even more now the more I thought about it. They really are surrounding Cam Ward with talent that will really directly help Cam Ward develop into the quarterback that the Titans obviously want him to be and need him to be and what I believe he can be. Because there are certain situations when you can build an offense, you can build a team, and not really get a lot of development, not get a lot of really growth out of your quarterback because it's just not necessary. Or, again, you can add an elite running back like a game breaker and a game changer like a Saquon Barkley or Jeremiah Love, whatever name you want to use. And your offense can be great, and your quarterback stats can even now be elevated and whatnot. But, it doesn't mean that he's developing. It just means hey, your coordinator right now is pretty good at pulling all these strings. And it's totally true. And you can maybe get a little bit more layups and then help your quarterback stats and help your offense overall, and you're scoring more points and getting more first downs. Right? It just kind of snowballs. But, when you actually have the pieces that are directly connected, a good enough O-line, wide receivers, tight ends, etc. And then you can now do all the types of throws that you need to be able to make. You can rely on these receivers cause Brian Daboll even said oh, we're going to try to give him as much as he can take. But, now when you have enough weapons, enough of a variety to do all the different types of things that you want to do offensively, the types of throws, the types of offense that you want your quarterback to ultimately be able to run. With your missing those pieces, you can't do it. Therefore, you can't directly develop, your quarterback in that regard. And now they have it. Now they have it. The only thing that I'll say, cause I always try to give it the most 360 degrees, fully balanced. The only thing that I'll say is the more I've thought about this over this halving, the more I've observed. And listen, the Titans have done this cause they do have some veterans there in terms of weapons and receivers and whatnot. But, I have come to really appreciate a veteran receiver's presence around an up-and-coming quarterback. Now, it can go both ways. It all depends on the personality of the receiver and the personality of the quarterback and the experience level of the coach. But, I do think that as a quarterback is trying to figure out, how best to do this, how best to operate, to a degree, you can be a little bit at the mercy of your receiver who can be listen, this is how it's done. This is what we need. This is the type of throw I need. This is what I'm looking for. And then as you get more experience at a higher level quarterback, now when you bring in a young talent, right? Like a Carnell Tate, if you have a more experienced quarterback, he now gets to guide and mold Carnell Tate how he needs. He goes, listen, this is what I need you to do. Patrick Mahomes gets in a receiver right in Xavier Worthy. He immediately is able to say, this is what I want. This is what I need. Do this. Do that. And so, now the receiver is growing into what his quarterback needs from him. Right? And I think that there's a huge benefit there. That when you're talking about two young up-and-coming talents, they're both just trying to figure out and how to make it work right now. But again, it could also go in the opposite way if you have a diva wide receive. Or who's just putting a lot of pressure on the young quarterback to get him the ball, etc. etc. So, that's why I said it also depends on the situation, but I just think that, I think culturally the Titans are just building an awesome culture right now. And I think Carnell Tate, is in just such an awesome place. Apparently, there was a few receivers and players who I guess didn't nail the interview. And I guess apparently Mekhi Lemon, the receiver who went to the Eagles, didn't have a great interview. But, players like Carnell Tate did and whatnot. And again, when you listen to Tate talk, when you listen to this even something as little this is going to sound so cheesy, and this will be similar to Colin's whole hat forwards, hat backwards. Even him just smiling in his picture, even little things like that, I'm telling you. Those little things actually do mean something. They do. It seems little. It seems dumb. And at the end of the day, you either catch the ball or you don't, right? You either beat your man or you don't, right? At the end of the day, that is what it comes down to. But, when you're a team like the Titans and you truly need to rebuild a culture, you're trying to build a foundation that will hopefully be there for the next 10+ years, it's all these other little things. And it's why I love Daboll and Solly getting players that they have direct experience with right now so they can start to install the culture and just the approach itself, immediately, right? They can start building immediately rather than starting from the absolute, ground zero here. So, and little things like this even when you're bringing in new players, I think more than anything, especially when you're building this culture and you have a whole new, operation essentially, bringing in the right players, I would rather have lesser players to be clear. I don't think Carnell Tate is lesser. But, I would rather have lesser players, but players with, a better head on their shoulders, smarter, right? More humble, etc. I'd rather have that in the beginning because that is going to be a culture that we can build off of. And once you have that foundation, it's a lot easier to bring in the other personalities into the locker room. It's a lot easier to kind of navigate that and mold that kind of how you see fit. So, I just think the Titans are doing everything right. And I look at the Titans and the Raiders as two teams that I'm just, they've really been nothing for so long. And, I just think they're both doing the right things in this moment of time. And as of right now, those are the teams that I'm looking at as making a true kind of snap of the fingers of like, whoa, do you know they're 4-1 right now? Like, hey, man. They're 4-2. The next two games are they're going up against the blanks and the blanks who are bad. And it's like, by week 9, they could be, 6-2. Whatever it is. And it's just like, yeah. So, I continue to be excited. I feel like every Titans video I make, I go, I'm excited. I'm excited. 'Cause I am. I am legitimately excited, and I'm excited to start to unpack this more beyond just the draft, beyond just Carnell Tate. I'm excited to get like a little bit more of like the film, a little bit more of the sound bites in the film from OTAs and practices and what, I want to start to hear a little bit more of the buzz of kind of like what's going on, some of the insider little, tidbits of like what Brian Daboll is working on with Cam Ward and what Cam Ward is doing, any of those. You hear a joint practice, and you hear like, oh, Cam Ward did great, probably. Carnell Tate is looking as advertised. Like, I'm excited for those little things that normally I would skip over. But, for a team right now like the Tennessee Titans, I definitely plan on going all in on. So, but, those are just my thoughts. I'd absolutely love to hear yours. What do you guys all think about the Tennessee Titans? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. I read every single comment. So, whether you agree with me or disagree with me, either way, let's get into some discussions. Let's get into some fights. But, ultimately, let's just have some fun. And please do consider subscribing. We're building an amazing community here. I'd absolutely love to see you part of it. I want to build something that we all generally feel connected to. Something that we're really excited to be part of. I think we're all on our way to doing it. Please don't forget to give this video a thumbs up. It really does help visibility and the algorithm. Thank you so much. See you next time.